Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
They'll kick this government out.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Oro, if I'm asked which institute of propaganda I would like to attend in Africa, I would prefer and would beg to attend the NDC Institute of Propaganda at Arabaka. And this has nothing to do with what my senior in school said, but with what the rhetoric, the narrative that has been going on since this unstable power started. I said, if I have the opportunity, I prefer and would like to sit in the NDC Institute of Propaganda. Why am I saying so? It is an institute that is so effective and can teach you how to get people angry at a sitting government. Can teach you how to make even achievements look so ordinary. And yet, when power comes, that is when the real deal starts. Moro, in this country, we were having our electricity of course, from Nkrumah's time to now. Once a while, you see electricity go on and off and all that. Maybe in a week, there can be disturbances. But usually, it will not cross 2 weeks. Immediately, on and off crosses 1 month, you know there's a problem. Moro. But before I say anything, let me commend the president for driving to Akosombo. The optics is good, Moro, to show that he cares. But the accounts have a proverb. Say, your
tree is that good?
Oh, no. Yeah, I grew up in a compound house. My grandmother's house had tenants who are accounts.
Oh,
so the only thing is that I can't write proper account by the grace of God, understand. The account say here and what it means that you have to do what is necessary before you do what appears to be cool. Moro, I want to get some facts out here.
Okay.
Number one, Ghana's generation capacity as we speak today is more than our peak demand. That's from the word go. What it means then is that anytime you see us shedding load, meaning anytime what we generate available, is the power available, is less is less than what the peak demand is. It means some of our generation units are not producing what they have to produce.
Right.
And let me again mention Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Before 2016 election, when the NDC was in power, most of us, including Dr. Boye, thought that the doomsday we experienced from 2013 to 2016 was as a result of transformers that were not working or lines that were faulty, some technical problems. The first person to give a presentation that brought our mind to the fact that never think it is technical, this is money issues, it is financial, was Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I was like, wow. And it is true. When the NDC left and we came into office, we realized that they had serious challenges in fulfilling or servicing the obligations, like paying for the gas supply, like paying for transformers that were coming in and meeting some other obligations, buying the crude to power the, the thermal plants. And so, for the 8 years that we were in office, and I thank God that I had opportunity, by the grace of God and the, the mercies of the NDC administration, to sit in cabinet for some few months. Moro, apart from salaries, the first item on our bill, the next most important item, which Akufo-Addo repeated in cabinet, which Dr. Bawumia also repeated in cabinet, was payment to obligations in the power sector. Moro, Akufo-Addo said, if you have any money, pay the power sector before you move to any other item. It is the commitment of our government that made sure that doomsday was not a topic. For 8 years, doomsday was not a topic. And I like what my brother said, that, oh, we didn't give them a timetable. The issue of timetable came because, of course, I've done psychology. The NDC was pushing us when we had some issue with changing some of the lines and grids and bulk, the bulk supply points. They were pushing us that, oh, give us a timetable, knowing that once you give a schedule, then indirectly, you have accepted that there is load shedding.
You could have used unofficially to say, so
yes,
it's fine.
and because, of course, I'm a public servant, because I've done some communications, my senior brother and my good friend, Dr. Napo Matipuk Pepe, I mean, when he responded and said that, oh, publish your own timetable, it could have been, I mean, anybody who sees it as harsh is justified. But the point he was trying to make is that if we who are managing the thing have not come to the place where it is load shedding we are doing, how can we more or less give you a load shedding timetable? But they were pushing. Tomorrow, what is happening today is that we have a situation where this government is taking 4 Ghana cedi for every petrol 1 gallon you buy. 4 cedi that Akufo-Addo didn't take. The Akufo-Addo that was crucified for taking e-levy. The Dr. Baumia that was bastardized for taking e-levy. Today, even for e-levy, you can avoid it if you don't transfer more than 100 cedi. Today, anytime you sit in truck or in a car, you are giving 4 Ghana cedi per gallon to the John Mahama administration. And Atufosi is aware that if he had mentioned on TV that I'm coming to charge you 4 cedis, people will ask him, Atu, but when you came to remove e-levy, we asked you how you can fill this hole. You claim you have some extraordinary prowess at getting back tax refund. How come you are charging us 4 cedis? So you know what Atu did? He read a nice budget. All Ghanaians hailed him. And then when he went home, in the night, he brought a charge to Parliament. And then we started paying this money. There is a good reason why the finance minister didn't read in Parliament that I'm about to charge you 4 Ghana per gallon, because he knows that people will not be happy with the NDC administration. No. After charging us 4 cedi, which Akufo-Addo, the Akufo-Addo administration that kept the lights on did not have 4 cedi per gallon to pay for thermal plants, yet found the money to pay for crude to keep our lights on. In addition, this NDC government is charging Ghanaians 24 Ghana cedi more. So if you are a Ghanaian, you are watching me and you used to pay 100 cedis for electricity, under this administration, under Akufo-Addo Baumia, you are paying 100 Ghana a week. You have to pay 124 Ghana a week. They have added 24 more cedi. Again, Atufosi did not take these 24 cedi to Parliament to announce in the budget. When he's taking money from us, he sweeps the budget. When he's cancelling e-levy, it comes in the budget. Borrow. But whether you take it on the side or in the budget, you will feel it on the ground. Point I'm making is that this is the first government that has had close to 14 billion Ghana cedis in ESLA revenues. Remember, ESLA 2 was increased, plus Dumso levy. And with all these monies, Moro is still struggling to pay all its obligations in the energy sector. Moro, I hear people saying that Dumso, how do you call it, Akosombo has been restored. All generation, and my brother JJ say mission accomplished. Moro, which mission has been accomplished? Senior journalist, which mission has been accomplished?
The power units are all back, 6 of them.
Where we have a situation where we are in a house, every day our father takes us to school in a Mazda, in a good condition. Our father has traveled, or let's say you've come to tell the whole town our father is not a good man. He's been booted out of the house. You are a caretaker. Within 1 week, the Mazda is not moving. Why? There is no fuel. Or let's say an alternator is bent. And then we start trekking to school. The whole town is laughing at us. Then you take this Mazda and you take it to the shop, do what you have to do so that we sit in the Mazda. We report Monday morning in the Mazda, and then you tell the whole town that mission has been accomplished. Which mission? Before you came, we were riding in the Mazda. Before John Jinapo became Minister for Energy, Ghanaians were having reliable power. How can you come and tell us your mission has been accomplished? By the way, Ghanaians started calling for a timetable before the Akosombo Grid Co unit got bent. Is that not so? So why is the narrative being created like it is this Akosombo fire that created the Dumso? My prayer, Moro, and before I forget, there are reasons why a lot of Ghanaians became fearful and apprehensive when this load shedding started. Number one, with all due respect, JM 1.0 had similar excuses. For close to 3-4 years, When you ask why Dunso was there, oh, some ship was bringing gas on the sea and the anchor was swinging under the sea and it hit some gas pipeline and it broke. So it's been fixed. After 6-7 months, oh, it has been fixed. But while the ship was landing at Elmina, some other canoe crossed it. So it will be fixed. And then when you ask, oh, fuel just came. But all kinds of excuses for 3-4 years. So the fear that Ghanaians are having is that, hey, you see, sometimes you can have a friend who makes you experience a particular situation. After many years, you can forget. But when your friend comes again and you start experiencing, it can take your mind to those days. So tomorrow, except the Gen Zs, those watching this show, 18 years to 25, 6, who were not really conscious when President Mahama and the NDC were in power in 2012, thereabout. They don't know the past. So one of them called me and said, Doc, but why are we sleeping in this heat? Is it that difficult to manage power? I said, ask your big sisters and brothers. We slept in this heat some time ago under the same leadership. Moro, so the fear is that these excuses might last long like it did in the past. Now, my prayer for this country is that this, I'll not call it incompetence, but these mishaps will be arrested and solved quickly. What Ghanaians were promised, Moro, is not steady power. Because power was already steady. Ghanaians were promised, Asiedu Nketia, good morning, chairman. The only problem is that I'm in Julius' team. I'm not in your team. That's the only problem I have. Obi, some of us are team Julius. As to Asiedu Nketia, the thank you talk can continue, but Julius is coming. Moro.
What business do you have in Julius's camp?
You
are supposed to be bad.
Political parties are public organizations.
Okay. And
you can always state your preference. Yes. For me, Julius Zebra has more promise for this country after Baumia than Asiedu Nketia. That I can tell you. Moro, Chairman Asiedu Nketia told us that 24-hour definition is that in the night, your electricity will be cheaper than during the day. Moro, the factory owners who depended on Asiedu Nketia's comments, expecting cheaper power in the night, are paying more even during the day, let alone in the night. So, the promise from the NDC is that we will make power cheaper. You have come. You have made it more expensive by 24%. And now you're also taking it away, availability. Moro, that is the fear. But I have good news for Ghanaians. Again, when I spoke to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia this morning, remember that ideas is what will create better opportunities for us. Moro. And I am one of the people that believes that every problem can be solved. And Dr. Baumia says something. To lead is to what? Is to solve. Sometimes politics becomes like a fight. I meet people who go like, you people will deal with you. No. Stop fighting. The reason why you are now sleeping in the heat in the night is that instead of asking the two leaders their solutions for affordable power, you were shouting Eyezu, Eyeza. And now the Eyezu, instead of the Zanu, is becoming like Azah. Moro. So if you pass through Teshi, Krowo, and you arrive at Tema East, when you hear Eyezu, instead of Eyeza, you hear Azah. And I'm like, when did this one happen? They said, Doctor, a lot of things that were promised appear to be going down the drain. So, Moro, I want to assure your viewer, including yourself, that Dr. Boye will continue to remind this government that we had stable electricity before the came. And with all the excuses they are giving us, we want one thing. We want the lights to stay on. And Moro, by the way, I want to remind Ghanaians that one thing that Dr. Mahmoud Baumia will do differently from this administration is that when he comes, he will align our priorities to our needs. What do I mean? A lot of people are not saying this, but I'll bring the news on your show. This administration has paid 2.532 billion Ghana cedis as the first installment for 6 planes for Ghana Air Force. It's on page 182 of their 304-page 2026 budget. It is at 182. Atu didn't read the budget to that place. He stopped before that place. Appendix, I think 3A or so. 2.523 billion Ghana cedis. If that money had been paid into the energy sector, maybe the doom saw and the shout will not be happening. Number two, in 2027, NDC government has put down, the check is already disposited check. Once the year comes now, they will pay 3.532 billion Ghana cedis. The next payment for the 6 planes. Boro, how can you be a government that in opposition said our planes are okay? Come into office. This morning, let me greet my senior brother, Jata Ibrahim Mahama. Ibra bought a fine jet at $75 million, which has been carrying our president. What it means is that with $75 million, this country can get a good plane for our president. I don't know what is wrong with politicians. We get power, then we forget ourselves. How can you commit to pay over $1 billion in 4 years for planes? What is wrong with us? Meanwhile, this $1 billion can fix your energy sector, fix your health sector, complete Agenda 1, create jobs for the youth. So tomorrow, all I'm saying is that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia would not pay $6 billion in 2 years for planes. We will channel a big amount. May he so rest in peace. Omani Bawumia, because of him, I wouldn't say planes are not necessary. I will forgive the NDC by saying the plane was okay. But my point is tomorrow, Sikorsky helicopter, the finest helicopter you can get, costs about $25-30 million. So buy 2, $60 million, plus Ibra, 75. Tomorrow, with $150 million, Ghana can get correct helicopters and planes. Why do we do this to ourselves? Then you allow some people to bring you a proposal where you are paying over $1 billion for 6 planes. So tomorrow, the message I'm giving Ghanaians is that, as for me, I'll do my job for you of reminding my senior Senano, who was a defender when I was at school. He should not defend this one. This is not the football game. He was a good defender. But this time, Moro, do you know that I made some, what's the word? I don't know how to put it. Some guy promised to sell me some solar panel. And I bought about 2 panels to power. The guy told me it could power my air conditioning, my fan. These are the 2, and TV for news. 3 critical things. Moro, not knowing, I didn't test that until this government came. It could only power the fan, the TV, but not the air conditioning. So Moro, as we speak, when NDC takes off power, what saves me is the fan. But the air conditioning is gone. Moro. So now I am feeling hotter under this government. But other Ghanaians, it is hottest because they don't have their fan work. And as I speak, by the way, I have bought rechargeable fan for some of my friends who have been disturbing me about the heat in the night. Moro. Media rechargeable fan. I bought 3 pieces. And when we finish the show, I will appeal to my good friend to see whether, as part of my Greater Accra chairmanship bid, I have an agenda to get rechargeable fan for all constituency chairmen. Moro. Why? Because if you want to go far, you must make sure that your chairman can rest in the night. So, Moro, in conclusion, we would like to beg this NDC administration to make sure that the monies they have collected, my brother Atofosi, pay your bills to the power sector. And number 2, the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, there was some narrative when it started. NPP did not add 1 megawatt of power. That's why I said I wanted to attend the MDC Institute of Propaganda. If it had not been for Dr. Napo, who released the things they did, the narrative everywhere is that not 1 megawatt. When the details came, we added over 1,600 megawatts. Moro, change lines. All the things you have to do to keep power, we did it quietly. No noise. Adodi was going around quietly, but work was happening. My advice to the NDC, work more, talk less. I thank you.
I don't know where you how you arrived at this conclusion that the the challenges we have in the power sector is a cash flow problem, because that is not true. All right, so still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moro. Once again, happy Workers' Day. I hope you're having a good time at home, or wherever it is that you're watching us from. We're here because of you, and so without you, we don't have a show. So I hope that you're enjoying it. My two very distinguished guests are here. Both of them are medical doctors, very good friends, attend the same schools. They have very good relationship, and so you notice that the conversation has been very, very, very depersonalized. It's about the issues. The issues have been attacked, which is great, which is what is what the Good Morning Ghana program is known for. We like to do more of attacking the issues and attacking personalities. So Dr. Bernard Okoboye is still here with us. He's a former MP and a former health minister. And also here with us is Dr. Sinanukwesi Djokoto, who is currently the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Insurance Authority. Doc, I noticed that you want to make a quick rebuttal to what Okoboye has said.
Yes.
Somehow he's convinced that the energy problem is a financial problem, but that I disagree with him, because the numbers don't show.
You're absolutely right. The IMF reports are there for everybody to see.
Right.
What the debt burden in the energy sector was compared to what it currently is. It's clear for everybody to see. We have been able to actually pay more than 50% of the debts that had accumulated over time. And how are we going to do it if we're not going to actually prudently manage the situation as it is? He says that they were able to actually prioritize and pay for everything when they were actually in power. But Moro, me and you know that every statutory obligation in this country was in arrears, unprecedented arrears, by the time MPP was handing over. And by the time they were even handing over in 2024, we had to urgently mobilize in 2025 to be able to keep the power on. So if they had so much money and they could actually pay for everything, why didn't they do it? You see, in one breath, he admits that, oh yes, there was doomsday, and he actually even went ahead to apologize on behalf of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, that, well, there was doomsday, and they actually didn't want to put across the timetable because of the psychological effect. You see, when you attend the best propaganda school, you've been tutored in the best propaganda political party, you need not go to anywhere. That is a clear definition that is shown the people of Ghana today. He says you are seeing the doomsday, but we will not tell you it is doomsday because we don't want it to have that psychological effect on you. ESLA was misapplied. You can actually make reference to it. And under this current administration, we are making sure that all the debts are being settled. Now, one funny thing is that, listen, my good friend, when he was in power, he bought air conditioning for himself. The MPP constituency chairmen were there. He didn't buy air conditioning for them. But today he wants to buy fan for them. I mean, how are they supposed to take my very good friend?
No, but he says
seriously?
He says he's in opposition.
He's in opposition. He says he bought a condition for him. When things were good for him, he didn't buy a condition for the MPP constituency chairman.
Maybe.
But today he says he's going to buy them fan. So that tells you how he actually sees their relevance.
Maybe we are assuming wrongly.
You are not assuming wrongly.
It's possible.
That is what is. But anyway, that is just by the way.
And when he rented, there's another condition there.
So the MPP constituency chairman, just bear that in mind. That when Okoboye was in power, former NHIA CEO, when he was Minister of Health,
he was a tenant.
He didn't buy some of the air conditioning.
Maybe he was a tenant.
But well, you know what didn't surprise me was the fact that he said he was misled into buying a generator that actually couldn't power the air conditioning he bought. That summarizes the decision making over the past 8 years, from 2017 to 2024. Okay. I mean, fraught with a lot of faults, and actually that lack of candor and integrity.
Right.
Listen, let me just, before we actually proceed, let me just correct this particular notion. I know we don't have much time. If not, I would have taken him one on every point that
Right.
he raised. You see, the $60 million has been approved by Parliament for the purchase of a Falcon 6X aircraft for Ghana Air Force under a deal between the Ministry of Defense and Dassault Aviation. Parliament also approved 125 million euro for Airbus SAS helicopters, SAS H160 and 3 H175 helicopters.
Right.
So where is the figures that he was quoting? That's why I told you that he actually is currently in the best institution for propaganda, because it's completely false, it's true, it's unfounded. But he's on this platform pushing that particular agenda. And sometimes when you're in the same particular, the same party, we expect that there should be some alignment when you speak. So speaking on November 2025 was when JM was in power. The former defense minister and MP for Bimbila, Dominic Nitiwo, highlighted the urgent need for a strategic lift to strengthen national defense. I have served the military for 8 years, and I hold the same view now as I did then. It is actually in our interest to make sure that we get enough logistics for the defense of this country. This is according to Dr. Dominic Nitiwo. So Ghana Web, you can go actually and go and check. The date for this was actually
so I guess
the 5th of December 2025. Everybody can go and check.
So I guess the point you're making is that the decision to purchase aircraft predates this government.
You see,
that's the point you're trying to make.
Yes, he says that if he was in the same situation, he would have actually bought those aircraft. So by extrapolation, definitely that decision was also made even before this. The need actually predated JM coming into power. That is why you didn't see any significant opposition. You saw Abu Jinapo when he tried to parade the same figures that Dr. Boye was parading around, not knowing it was actually an issue of miscalculation. And unfortunately, Dr. Boye didn't hear the appropriate thing said by the former Minister of Defense. But what has stuck in his ears is the erroneous impression that was created by Abu Jinapo in power. You see, prudent management of resources. We all don't actually want to go there. But please, Ghanaians have not forgotten that we used to rent an aircraft that we could actually bath in for 18,000 euro per hour. We've not forgotten. 18,000, and sometimes it could be for 3 days stretch. So by the time we do a round trip for the president, 4 or 5 days, we are looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of Ghana cedis. At that time, we were still having difficulties in this country. Teacher training allowances, nursing training allowances were not being paid. Workers were actually complaining about their salaries. Inflation was moving heights. Macroeconomic stability was actually completely in disarray. We are seeing all this, but there were these kinds of expenditure. This was just the tip of the iceberg. Then I don't even want to add the number of scandals that was dealt with during the same period. Misapplication of funds. You see, so Moro, let us stick to what the facts are. This current government has actually invested more into the energy sector to make sure it is stabilized. And we actually have a vision, clear vision, that we are committed to make sure that Ghana becomes the home for business within West Africa because of the stable energy situation that we are going to have in the very near future.
Okay. Doc, you also
Moro, I sent you
I just
Moro, you know that me, I like to refer to documents.
Yes, but the 2026 budget statement.
Go to page 182, Appendix 4A. Moro, anything you see in this budget is what is a contract approved by Parliament. MDA expenditure allocation 2026. Now, look at 34, Ministry of Defense. You have MOD, headquarters and agencies. Moro, this NDC's government document. This is the money they are allocating to Air Force. Retooling of the Air Force. You have, Moro, 150 million Ghana cedis for goods and services. Yeah? Then you see CAPEX, which is capital investment. Retooling efforts. 2.532 billion Ghana cedis. Have you seen it? Mm-hmm. Please, my phone is having some issues. Since we came into position, it doesn't work. So you send the material to my senior in school so that you realize that it's an official document.
But what he said actually doesn't buttress the point that he made earlier. CAPEX. CAPEX. It's capital expenditure.
Yeah, but it's a term they use for like investments, capital investment. Yes. Buying a plane is CAPEX. So you see, that's a retooling of the Air Force. This is the first payment this year, which has been captured in allocation in NDC government's documents. This money Atu Forcing is allocating to the Air Force So when you add goods and services and CAPEX, the amount of money going to Ghana Air Force this year is 2.682 billion Ghana cedis. So with all due respect, this is not Okoboy's imagination. This is official allocation from the government of Ghana, GOG. In fact, when you go to the 2027 allocation, it moved from the 2.6 you see here to about 3.5 billion Ghana cedis, which is the second payment. By the time you get to 2029, this government would have paid a total of about 12.9 billion Ghana cedis. You know, my brother is doing a good job at NHIS. His documents are many. So I'm in your position. I have time. To go deep into it. Secondly,
he poses the question that how does retooling of the Ghana Air Forces
these are terms.
Then metamorphosis into buying aircraft? Because the Air Force goes beyond.
Okobo is in trouble. He's in trouble this morning.
I'm a practicing politician.
Okay.
No politician will put buying of aircrafts. You see that? Yeah, the term that has been used, retooling. Simple tools, they record billions. So the point I'm making is that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will align our priorities to our needs. These huge quantums. And by the way, I said plane is important. But Jata bought plane for 75 million USD. Why do you want to spend over $1 billion to buy something?
But how do you
what Samuel Abujinapo said in Parliament is what has stuck in his
head. I gave you the first
Mahama Yariga corrected him. If not, this is what...
Let me have the page again.
It's actually final. It is completely untrue.
My senior...
It is unfounded.
I was quiet when my senior was talking. So please, me, I can't tell you.
I think it is allowed to interrupt if the facts are not right. Okay, so because Dr. Okuboy's facts are very erroneous. What happened on the floor of Parliament that has led to this misinformation? We have to actually stop it on the way, right in its tracks, because a falsehood was put out, and it's still it was corrected, but he's still carrying the wrong falsehood, or let me say the right falsehood. Is it?
Until Honorable Atu Forcing comes to Parliament during the mid-year budget review to come and withdraw this appendix. Please, if you are watching,
2 billion for CAPEX for Ministry of Defense.
I said, if you are watching, please go to the budget. 182 Appendix 4A. Atu Forcing, and more, Atu is my senior brother. Yeah. He was teaching me finance small when I was on the finance committee.
Oh, okay.
I was pitching as a friend of the committee so that I could survive. I was not even a member. But Esibe Yeboah, he watched me and my plight. That time I was an MP without any portfolio.
Okay.
He said, Doctor, come, life is hard, come. He and Atu, and then they drafted me in.
Right.
That's why when I'm speaking about finance, I'm careful. Honorable Atu Forcing mentioned the 100 million Ghana cedis for doing something about General 1.
Right.
And the part, how much was it? Is it also another 100 million for the sanitary parts? He found time to mention 100 million, but conveniently stay away from the 2.5 something billion of
billion cedis.
Billion.
2.5 billion cedis.
Atu, you know why?
Yes.
Atu is aware he's a politician. If he had mentioned that amount in his address, they would have come. Yes.
So let's get a breakdown.
Yeah.
Let's get a proper breakdown so that there's clarity will be brought to bear on this
conversation. 2.something billion.
We need to know how much a unit of aircraft is going to be bought.
Are you an aviation? I'm giving you figures.
Oh, the facts are clear. You are allowing Dr. Kobe to beat about the facts are quite clear.
We are going to the health area, but before I go, let me quickly say that.
Defense minister, former defense minister, actually set the record straight.
On a light note,
he believes all the money is going to be used to buy the aircraft. All the money.
My senior wasn't listening to me well.
Okay.
I said I bought some of my chairman rechargeable fan.
Yes, media.
Why rechargeable? Because of the unstable power now. Okay. If there were to exist a rechargeable air conditioning, incoming chairman would have bought the rechargeable. You don't have rechargeable air conditioning. It is rechargeable.
What we have now are solar power.
In 2022, 2023, when Doomso was west, he didn't buy the rechargeable.
No, he didn't.
He actually refused to accept that there was Doomso.
No, now he has the resources. At that time, he didn't have. Okay. So, gentlemen, I want us to look at this. I know we don't have all day. Actually, we have just 15 minutes to go, but I want us to look at this issue. I've been doing some reading, up on it, but I'm not too clear what it means, and I'm sure that you can help us. You can help me, and I'm sure the viewers to have a proper understanding of what this whole matter is, and whether there will be any what the implications for us would be when it comes to the health sector, because that's the sector you play, that's the space in which you play, so you'd have a better appreciation of this issue. But before I bring you in, let me just say that. Let me remind you once again that Discover MNC Group Global, your number one partner in minerals and food commodity trading, real estate development, general logistics, procurement management consultancy, and investment advisory, import and export. They have headquarters in East Legon, Accra, Ghana, and they also have offices in Dubai, Hong Kong, and also Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, Virginia, USA, Arezzo in Italy, and Hanover, Germany. They essentially connect markets that drive business growth with tailor-made solutions to meet your needs. So trust us to maximize your value in every deal. And also, if you want to get in touch with us, first of all, go to mncgroupgh.com or call 0302 998 246, 0302 998 246, or 026 5505 337, or 057 103 2252, 056 103 2252. MNC Group, totally reliant. Now, Dr. Okoboye and Dr. Djokoto, there's this thing that, in fact, it was in almost all the newspapers yesterday, and I've been trying to have a handle, a understanding of what this is, whether it has any implications as far as our health delivery systems are concerned. Now, Ghana, we're told, has rejected a bilateral health deal with the United States, citing unhealthy concerns about terms requiring the sharing of sensitive health data with American counterparts. I'm reading this from my Joe Online. A highly placed source with knowledge about the subject confirmed to the Daily Graphic that Ghana declined the deal on the basis of the terms. The source said the country could not agree to share information as sensitive as health data about the citizen with a foreign nation. Ghana, the source stressed, had since communicated this decision to the United States government. The United States announced a new America First global health strategy in September last year, just over 8 months since the return to office of President Donald Trump. The new strategy calls for poorer nations to play a bigger role in fighting HIV, AIDS, malaria, tuberculosis, polio in their countries, and eventually transition from aid to self-reliance. Now, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, was eventually dismantled earlier this year. The posturing of Ghana's authorities on the matter is the latest challenge to the United States' effort to transform its foreign aid. The deal, for which negotiations between the two countries have started in November 2025, would have called for $109 million United States assistance to Ghana for health over a 5-year period. The United States has disbursed $219 million in foreign assistance to Ghana, including $96 million specifically for health for 2024, the year before the current United States government's cuts to foreign aid. Government foreign assistance data have shown. The source said what started as a normal negotiations changed with time as pressure began to mount over specific terms. The United States is said to have set April 24, 2026 as deadline to conclude the negotiations on the deal. In the end, Ghana officials decided that they could not agree to the terms of the proposal. The United States is not new to this posturing by African nations especially. Now, similar negotiations with Zimbabwe collapsed earlier this year while a court in Kenya suspended the implementation of the country's deal with the United States pending the hearing of a case filed by a consumer protection group on the matter. Now, international news outlet Reuters reported yesterday that the U.S. State Department said it did not disclose details of bilateral negotiations with the news organization contacted the State Department for comment. And it says we continue to look for ways to strengthen bilateral partnership between our two countries. It quoted a spokesperson to have said. Now, we're told, as of Monday, the State Department of the United States had signed 32 deals under the America First Global Health Strategy, representing $20.6 billion in funding, made up of $12.8 billion from the U.S. and $7.8 billion in co-investment from recipient countries, the State Department spokesperson told Reuters. Dr. Djokoto, what's all this? Is there something to be worried about?
I'll say that there's absolutely nothing to be worried about, because the President of the Republic had actually foreseen some of these occurrences in the global space, and had actually put in place plans to be able to contain it, increased investment in our local health sector. Currently, our health expenditure per capita, that's the amount of the amount of money we spend on each individual, is somewhere around $200. Amongst lower middle income countries, I think is one of the highest. I think Kenya is doing around the same, and all those around us are doing a little less. Obviously, the developed countries are doing much more. They are doing $2,000, and so as we continue to develop, we are going to increase our investment. But what exactly did our president do?
So that explains why. That explains why under the free primary healthcare, you are focusing a lot, you're hammering a lot, you're emphasizing a lot on preventive,
promotive. That's also also part of it.
In order to drive down the cost.
I've been in the health space for a very long time. At least long enough. Since 1961, this is how America supported. They had the United States Agency for International Development, for short, USAID. And they supported a lot of programs for us. HIV, malaria. For HIV, we had something that we called PEPFAR. Then we have malaria, tuberculosis. I'm sure they also ventured into economic development, human disaster assistance, and so on and so forth. But from Trump 1, a decision was actually taken that they are going to move away from USAID to what they now call the America First Global Health Strategy. America First Global Health Strategy. So the name speaks for itself. Right. So USAID used to give us loans and grants to carry out a lot of the interventions. And obviously the sudden withdrawal in 2024 actually led to some challenges. But for the fact that JM had made a commitment, His Excellency, JM, made a commitment that he was going to uncap the National Health Insurance Fund, which was done. That was able to release some of that money. The gap that was created at the time was about, over $100 million every year. Uncapping the NHIS brought us about 3 to 4 billion, which is about $300 million. So with that, we've been able to set up a committee with the Ghana AIDS Commission. And last year, we gave them significant support so that we can get medications for some of our HIV clients, and also support the health sector in so many ways. Another about 1.2 billion, half of this year, is going to support free primary healthcare, and is also going to capture some of the gaps that have been left by the withdrawal of this assistance from the United States government. But what we need to actually also state is that we are not on a head-on collision with the United States of America. They still continue to be important partners for this Ghana, for our country, our beloved country, Ghana. We still have quite a number of partnerships ongoing with them, and it's good for us to acknowledge that. But for this specific negotiation that has not gone well so far, the demands they were making were not something that actually aligned with our national priorities and the policies that we had in place. So, for instance, you want the health data of all Ghanaians for 25 good years. Meanwhile, you are going to give us $109 million for 5 years. Previously, we were getting close to about 1.2 billion, so it was $230 million every year. You are going to give us 109. We are supposed to give counterpart funding for $70 million. And you naturally decide that you want all our health data. If you look at the pharmaceutical industry, they are going to profit so much because there's so much enzyme and genetic sequencing that they can data on that they can actually rely on to develop a lot of medications that will be focused on treating certain conditions within Africa. Actually, that is how the world is actually going. So it's going to benefit them. They are going to get a lot of money for that, even just taking the pharmaceutical industry. And you come up with such a deal. It's actually not acceptable. Ghana cannot give away its health data to another country. It goes against national sovereignty, our sovereignty, a health sovereignty. It's not possible because the United States in return is also not giving us their health data. So where's the spirit of reciprocity? Then there was no negotiation. This is supposed to be bilateral. So we are supposed to arrive at consensus together. No such consensus was reached. And then, more or less, we are being forced to accept these particular conditions. That would also certainly not work. So as talks have broken down on this, the assurance to Ghanaians is that, yes, we had a visionary leader who looked at what some of these possible developments and put in place the necessary interventions to ensure that the country is able to deal with it. I'm sure when we get back onto the negotiation table and decisions that will be in the interest of Ghana basically the conditions that will be in the interest of Ghana are clearly spelled out. Decisions will be taken so that we can get more resources to invest within the health sector of this country. And I think this is something that everybody would have to support.
Okay.
Every patriotic citizen would actually have to support this kind of decision. Other African countries have rejected it, Zambia, Zimbabwe. Many more are going to reject it because certainly it's not a balanced way of partnership.
Okay. All right. You know Kwame Sapwasiedu,
yes,
a CDD
yes,
research fellow in public health. He's monitoring the conversation. He sent me this very, very interesting, viewpoint on this matter. Now, he says that the next level of neocolonialism is a scramble for Africa's data, especially health data. Anyone who understands because you see, the reason I'm reading this is because my next question to you was to ask, what does America need our health data for? You know, as a precondition.
I'm not PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal in Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.